insurance industry is changing. The pace at which everyone is doing business is accelerating. My name is Pat West, and I'm here to find out what the United States of Insurance is all about. When I started the United States of Insurance as a research project, the big goal was just to kind of see what's the landscape, what's the changes, what's the reality in the United States when it comes to the insurance industry. And for me, it only seemed natural to start off with the insurance agent in my research project. So today, I actually am going to share with you an interview I had with Kelsey Alcorn from Alcorn Insurance. Kelsey's a third generation insurance agent that has a pretty awesome perspective on how to grow her business and what the future of insurance agency looks like. So the first question I had for Kelsey is probably my favorite question to ask insurance agents, and that is, what is the most misunderstood but positive aspect of your job as an insurance agent?
Freedom and creativity. I think those go hand in hand, because with insurance, there are so many different insurance markets that people don't realize, or they just never thought about it. But there's so much freedom in the markets, in the niche markets that you could do, even just in your schedule. You know, there's a lot of freedom. If you're producing, I guarantee that your boss is going to be like, however I can make you as profitable for our agency, however that looks like to you, I'm all for it. I think there's so much freedom whenever it comes to insurance and to sales if you are in the right agency. With creativity, social media. If you have a boss or a company that allows you to go out there and put yourself in front of people's faces on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and really be that person for the agency, that's going to be so much more powerful than, you know, making you sit behind a desk all day and not putting your feelers out there. So I think freedom and creativity. And you don't think creativity whenever it comes to insurance. You think stuffy. Like, people, whenever I say I sell insurance, they're like, really? Like, you don't, you know, you're not really stuffy. And I'm like, I know, you can be so creative with how you sell insurance too. There's so many programs out there that make it easier for you to sell insurance, to prospect, to make calls. I mean, freedom and creativity. Those are positive things that people can do with the insurance industry. So those are my answers.
That was an excellent way to kind of frame up the opportunity. The next question was a little bit more on the critique side, and that's, what can the industry do to support younger people to make sure that they not only come into the industry, but that they stick with it?
You need to be flexible with these the younger people that you have coming into the office, because what worked for you 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year is not probably going to work for these young guys or young people that are coming into the agency. You need to be flexible.
Now, I want to break in quickly here because this point is really important, and it's a common theme that you'll hear across the other interviews that I've conducted. When connecting with young people, flexibility is key. Now, let's get back into what Kelsey had to say.
You need to really find what works best with an individual, because not everyone teaches or learns the same way, sells the same way. So you've got to be okay with things being different per person. But I think you also need to just be flexible. Like my brother, he's an agent here in the office. He's 23. You know, he's not coming in at 7 a.m. because he likes to stay later, because he's selling later. That's where his market is. His market, they're available of a later afternoon, early evening. So why is he coming in at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m.? Why is he doesn't need to start his day that early, because that's not where his customers are. So I think if you are, you know, you've got to be able to be flexible with these young people, especially if they niche, because they know their customers better than you're going to know their customers. My dad has been in the agency. He's been selling for over 30 years. Our agency's been around for over 50 years, but he wants nothing to do with Chase and I's niche, because that's just not his niche. He doesn't understand it. And that's another great thing about my dad. or being with an agency or an owner that really understands you as an agent and understands your niche and knows that there's going to have to be different approaches. So it's just being flexible with these younger people, because things that worked for you are not going to work for them, and they're going to figure out what works for them. Letting them find a niche and not letting them get complacent, because if you're letting an agent get complacent, he or she's really not doing what they could be doing for you. So finding ways to let them be creative, letting them have that freedom, I think is going to pay off for you in the long run with keeping these younger agents in your agency.
Well, I've always felt the best way to learn about insurance was through a mentor or just through experience. And one unique part about the Alcorn Insurance Agency is the multi-generation approach that they have to legacy planning and to management. So the next thing I wanted to dive into with Kelsey was what are some of the lessons that she learned, growing up around an agency and now working in an agency with not only her father but her brother. So what does that family environment look like, and what are some lessons that other people can take from that?
Well, I will say that I'm very lucky because, like I said, my dad's father started the agency in 1963. My grandmother came in, she did the books, and then my dad's oldest brother, no, I'm sorry, my dad's second oldest brother, his older brother, Craig, he was an agent for a long time. My dad came into the agency about 1988, I want to say. When my dad was in the agency with, his mom and his older brother, he made suggestions all the time. Let's try this. We need to do this differently. And they were like, no, I'm not doing this. We're doing it our way. So they were never, he was always pushing an uphill battle. So when he finally took over the agency, he was able to implement a lot of the things that he had wanted to do in the past. And with us, with my brother and I, we can go to him and say, we want to try this. We want to try this new product, new system, new way of doing something. And he's like, okay. I am so lucky that I have a boss that is willing to listen. And, people sometimes are like, you're doing business with your family. It must be hard. It's got its strengths and its weaknesses. Obviously you never want to like piss off your boss or like make them upset with you. And then when it's your dad, it's like, oh, it's a double whammy. I don't think I do that a lot anymore. I've grown up a little bit. So I don't think that I do that at a professional level. He has just also really taught us, don't sell on price.
Now, I wanted to quickly jump in here because I think this point is an exceptional point, but you have to look into the thinking behind it. And I know a lot of young agents get caught in quotas and expectations about what they need to produce on a monthly basis. So take a deep look at the thought process behind why not selling on price is so critical to the long-term success of being an insurance agent.
Don't sell on price, because those customers are always going to be shopping around every single year. Don't build your whole book of business on being the cheapest person. Build your book of business on providing value to your customers, providing them with the things that they need. Listen to them. Be present whenever they come in or they call you. Don't sell on price. Sell on the coverage. We also just have to do what's best. Be honest, be transparent. Those are some things that I've taken from my father and implemented. Both Chase and I have implemented when talking to our customers. I don't agree with everything that a insurance company puts out there, and when customers call and they're upset about something, I'm upset too. Just because I'm writing this policy with this carrier doesn't mean I agree with everything that they do or they come back with, but we're going to have your best interest at heart. And the reason you have an agent is because we're going to fight for you so you don't have to fight that headache. We're going to bring on the headache. So I think just growing up in insurance and just seeing my father, over the years, I have just he's been the best mentor because he's teaching me the right values to have as an insurance agent instead of the ones that are only going to work short term. Let's look long term. Let's look at the big picture. Okay, the auto policy is cheaper, but the home's a little bit higher. But what is it as an overall package? Let's sell the whole thing, not just one thing. You know, let's look at the big picture, not the small picture. So those are things that I've learned from being in the agency.
After covering a lot of career elements with Kelsey, I dove into her agency. What does it look like? What are the priorities? And what is the future all about? So here's what she had to say when it came to Alcorn Insurance.
We are all about the customer. We are evolving with our customer needs, be that our customers like the communication. Text messaging, fine, we'll text you. Emails, that works too. You want to call us? Whenever you call me on Instagram and I'm on hold and I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, hold on just 1 second. You know, you have to be available for your customers. And that's what we focus on. You're always going to be able to talk to someone. If you can't talk to me, I guarantee you anyone else in this office is going to be able to either answer the question for you or find your answer and give you a call back. So it's not just one person is your agent. You can talk to anyone in our office and they're going to be able to find you that answer. What we're known for, we write personal, we write commercial business. We obviously are big into trucking. If you see our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Facebook, that's one of our niches. But Scott isn't in that niche. He's got contractors, bars, restaurants, taverns. Like those are the commercial things that he likes. But like I said earlier, we look at the big picture. We're not going to sell and tell you we're going to be the cheapest, but if we are listening to what you need, you can see on our customer client testimonials, thank you so much for saving me all, you know, you just saved me a bunch of money. You know, it's because we listen. We get your policy, we review it with you, we ask you questions, and we're going to learn what it is that you really need. Sometimes we might not be the cheapest, but sometimes because we listen, we're going to be able to find you the best deal. So, you know, that's really what I want Alcorn Insurance to be known for. I want people to know that, you know, they can ask a question and they're going to get an answer. We're providing value to our customers. We're providing knowledge, some things that they might not know. They can come to us, ask, we'll tell you. So we're finding solutions. You know, we're answering questions, finding solutions. So I want people to think of us and say, that's who I want to do business with, because they know what they're doing.
So that's going to wrap up my interview with Kelsey from Alcorn Insurance. I hope you'll join me next time as I continue to find out what's really going on in the United States of insurance. For now, I'm Pat West, saying thank you for following along.